folks. This is Kristen Williams with the TransAdvocate, and today I have for you an interesting conversation I had with Kathy Vinson. She is the Delta County Board of Education Director of District 1. They're in Delta, Colorado. If you recall, we recently had a situation in Colorado where a California hate group came out to Colorado and targeted a trans girl, bullied her mercilessly to the point of suicide until she was put on a suicide watch. Miss Vinson is in the news because she made some comments in her school board meeting. She passed out some educational material. So before we go further, here's a clip of the comments that she made, which spurred a lot of public outrage.
Irrespective of his biological gender, letting him perform as the gender he thinks he is, or she is. And I just want to emphasize, not in this district, not until the plumbing is changed. There would have to be castration in order to pass something like that around here.
That's right, she wants to castrate the kids before they can use the restroom. What you're not going to hear that is actually in the email that we sent back and forth is her talking about how, boys want to spread their seed around, and that, really her concern is seed spreading and rape. So, yeah, there's that. In fact, I was really surprised at how similar her talking points sounded to the talking points of the trans exclusionary radical feminists, the TERFs. And I find that highly ironic, considering where she's getting her talking points from. So when I heard that a school board member in Colorado was spreading anti-trans memes among the school board members, I, of course, was interested, and I saw some press coverage of the situation and felt that it wasn't actually quite on target. They failed to note where this board member was getting her information that she was using to, I'm doing air quotes that you can't see, educate the school board. That's a very, very important piece of information that's been left out. And I wanted to kind of fact check some things, so I did some digging and got a hold of that particular school board member's phone number and gave her a call. And so what you're about to hear is my brief conversation with her, and you'll get one critical piece of information that has been missing from all of the reports, which is really important, actually. So here we go. Here's the phone call.
Hi, is this Catherine?
Speaking.
Hi, Catherine. My name is Kristen, and I was watching a news program, and I saw some.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw it was on the internet, and I saw this news program, and I wasn't exactly sure if they were being fair and balanced. So I wanted to call you and do some fact checking. To find out, from the horse's mouth, so to speak.
Yeah, thank you.
So what I heard in the news was that you objected to transgender kids. Is that correct?
I would be a better way to communicate would be, because I missed at least one word, either by email. If we write letters back and forth by email.
Oh, okay, sure.
And I want to, and I have been told that sometimes the fair and balanced doesn't come through, and they mess things up.
Right, and just to be clear, you, the piece that you showed to the board, that was Phyllis Schlafly's piece. Schlafly's, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, is the email that I have at tellasia.org, correct?
Oh, yes. ASIA, Tell Asia. That's my daughter's ministry, which I still help her with.
Oh, okay. That's fantastic.
Okay, your name is Kristen?
Kristen, yes.
Kristen
Thank
with
you.
a K?
It's Christan.
Okay, thanks, hon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
For those who don't know, Phyllis Schlafly is an anti-feminist activist, and she is the reason why America doesn't have something called the Equal Rights Amendment protecting women. See, back in the 70s, she had she was able to build a coalition of fear targeting the ERA, the Equal Rights Amendment. How she did that was she began taking out full-page ads and falsely claiming that should equality happen for women, that would mean that men would be able to go out and go into the women's restroom, hang out in the women's restroom. Sound familiar? It's interesting, isn't it, that TERFs are using talking points that Phyllis used against them. Isn't that interesting? Anyway, another little nuance there that you might have missed. Her email goes to an anti-gay ministry, a ministry that opposes gay people, gay marriage, gay equality. Here's something from their website. Let's see here. She's talking about a conference that she held in Korea. And so this is the school board member's daughter talking about her involvement in defeating gay marriage for South Korea. So she writes, "It so happened that the dates of the final conference coincided with the date when South Korea's government was scheduled to vote on a bill that proposed legalizing gay marriage and other anti-biblical legislation. This created the perfect workshop environment to go along with my teaching! Exclamation point. I challenged every person in the hall to sign the petition that was being circulated and to encourage others to do the same, and counseled the leaders on how to build unity with other churches and Christian networks to multiply their influence. By God's grace, the bill didn't pass, and we won an initial victory." And so that's the group that the school board member's daughter works for, that she has an email address for, and who she volunteers with. So, yeah, there's that. Is it any wonder why she has Phyllis Schlafly informing her opinions about trans people? Here's the board member on television promoting her anti-trans bathroom meme, you know, the one where trans people are rapists. So here you go. This is her defending her position on TV, and to her this sounds absolutely rational.
Some boys think they are girls. I'm just saying, as long as they can impregnate a woman, they're not going to go in the girls' locker room.
Some of you might remember about 5 years ago, a conservative, right-wing organization called the Citizens for Responsible Government claimed that, they had this trans person, this wild and crazy trans person going into the locker rooms and, tried to use that as evidence to support taking away trans protections. Later, that group actually came out and confessed that it was all a media stunt. There were no trans people involved. It was actually that group. You may recall recently in California, the TransAdvocate got on tape a school district employee going around claiming that trans protections for kids led to rape and molestation. There was a San Diego case where another conservative organization was claiming that trans kids were getting into the girls' restroom and scurrying up the wall to spy on girls as they pee. And take pictures. You mustn't forget that they were taking pictures. And the story was that the school district couldn't do anything because trans rights, right? Well, of course, I did some digging, and that turned out to be fake. The school district confirmed that they, in fact, did an investigation, found that a conservative person had invented the story whole cloth. I could just list time and again and again and again where these right-wing organizations create these stories, these myths, these urban myths, casting trans people as rapists, sexual predators, pedophiles. There's this video where this obvious man with this long beard and stuff is standing around waiting outside of a girl's restroom at it looks like a school park or something, and this little girl with, if I recall, it was very stereotypical, a pink dress with ponytails, goes into the restroom, and this nefarious guy with sunglasses, aviator sunglasses, and a ball cap pulled down with his big beard, goes in after the girl, and it says that if trans rights happens, this will happen. In fact, I just learned of another conservative group who was claiming as fact that trans rights led to 4 women being raped in the restrooms, and in fact that was debunked something like a year and a half ago. So I think that there's a reason why these groups, these anti-gay groups, these so-called Christian right-wing fundamentalist groups like to, push this rape button over and over again. And I think it's because that it inspires you to have a very, very natural aversion. And so they're trying to link up in your mind that very, very natural aversion to violence against children, and link that up in your mind with trans equality. What a crappy thing to do. And yet, thousands and thousands and thousands of people fall for it all the time. All the time. Every single day, people fall for it. That's what's called trans misogyny. It's what a lot of these groups are falling back on now that they can see the writing on the wall. They've lost the fight for gay marriage. They've lost DOMA. People don't see gay people and lesbians as pedophiles anymore the way that they once did. And so what's left? There's trans kids. You can pick on trans kids. That no one will care about them, right? So all of these hate groups seem to be turning their focus towards trans kids and trans protections for adults and people who are in the workplace. Yeah, it's really important that reporters, that community members stay on top of this stuff. And whenever you hear stuff like this coming out of the mouth of an otherwise, responsible, seemingly kind person. I mean, whenever I talked to her, she seemed like a nice lady. And yet, here she is, a member of one of these anti-gay groups, promoting anti-trans memes in Colorado schools. So it's important to fact check. It's really important to fact check and figuring out, if possible, where these folks are getting their information. Time and time again, it leads back to these anti-gay groups who had at one point been focused on DOMA, had at one point been focused on anti-gay marriage, anti-gay equality in the workplace, and now they are turning en masse their sights on trans people. So, yeah, it's more important than ever to be vigilant on those things. So, please do your part. Whenever you hear stuff, don't just blindly accept it as fact. Fact check. All I do is I call up these people. I do a little bit of investigation. Anyone can do that. So, please join me in doing that and holding these people accountable. These people who are targeting kids with a suicidal ideation rate that's sky high, a suicidal attempt rate that's over 50%. Can you imagine that? Targeting a group of kids like that with these horrendous, despicable memes, purposefully trying to link up in the minds of adults that people like that, they're rapists. You have to keep an eye on those people. To use her terminology, they're going to spread their seed. It's got to stop. It's got to stop.